This is the part where I talk, right? How you guys doing? Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are live. Sorry it's a little noisy. I got a fan going. It's just baking here in the studio, so gotta cool it down. Let me know about my volume. I did do some tweaks in my studio board. Hopefully it'll give it a little more amp and a little more oomph, but it might be picking up more room noise. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, but I got to run a fan. Otherwise I'll die of sweat. So you'll hear a little blowing in the background. It's just me staying alive. So hopefully you guys understand. And it's not too annoying. Audio sounds good. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate it, brother. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles is in here. Mickey G is in here. Amy Creel, John Stevenson, Lane Clifford, Chucky Danger was the first one in the door. Southern Belle Bigfoot is over here. Hello, Selena. John Stevenson is here. And we had someone from Twitch come in and say hi, and I'm just looking. Laura Tharp. Good to see you, Laura Tharp. Thanks for coming in and checking out the show. Spread the word on Twitch. We're kind of crippled over there. I don't know. I've been doing streams there for a long time, but it's hard to get any attention on Twitch. I'm not sure what I'm missing, but I figure we'll throw a stream over there and we'll keep doing it anyway, even though there's not a lot of gravity so far. But we are streaming live on YouTube, on Rumble, Facebook Live, Twitter, X, and Twitch. 5 platforms, and we're live and doing it. So hopefully you're hearing us wherever you are. Oh, thank you, Laura. It's great to see you. It's great to see someone over there. Hello, Dog Digger and Car Juice over on Rumble. How you guys doing? The Rumble chat is the one chat that won't sync with this on-screen chat right here. I don't know why. It still seems like Rumble's kind of the I don't know, the annoying neighbor that nobody wants to acknowledge, I guess. But hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll tie it in so everybody can be in the same chat room. That would be nice. But everybody, we are going to do a Saturday show. Yeah, this is the last live stream of the week. We do these live stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 2 full hours, commercial free. And tonight we're going to be getting into the paranormal news, which sometimes is actually paranormal, but at least it's always interesting, I hope, or entertaining, or maybe a little both or all. And then we're going to do a live check-in with Tex Wesson, who is on location right now on Dogman Ranch. It's the location he's been investigating lately. He certainly has talked about his experiences there on his show and when he appears on this show. But we're going to catch up with him and see just what's going on tonight, what they got on their agenda, and if anything's been popping off so far. So we'll check in with them. It's going to be kind of low tech. I'm going to be doing it literally on speakerphone because he doesn't have any app connected or the bandwidth to do any live stream connection to us. So we're going to be real low tech about it, but we'll stop in and see what's going on over there. We are going to do the Discord question of the week. Remember, we have a Discord server, everybody, and you're certainly welcome to join. It's absolutely free. And the URL is discord.gg/paranormal portal. So there's a great community over there. If you're familiar with our chat community on YouTube and all these combined apps, these are a collection of amazing people. Well, these same amazing people, most of them are over on the Discord, so please feel free. But the question of the week is where we put a question out for you, and that is championed by my wonderful friend and amazing help, Mr. Chucky Danger. He asks a question, and it has to do with some paranormal topic. Might be UFOs, might be ghosts, might be cryptids, might be strange phenomena, or any number of things. And we'll ask you guys a question, just see what you think. And there's no wrong answers. We just don't know. Nobody knows anything about what's going on with this strange stuff, but we're on the journey of discovery, and by God, you guys bring some great thoughts to the table. So we're going to get into that as well, and then we're going to get into some more shadow people stories, and then we're going to get to the cryptid corner where we're going to discuss some cryptid experiences people have had. So we got a lot to do these 2 hours. We'll get to it as soon as we can. So Wes says, I love text, but every Bigfoot researcher I know, they have a phone from 1998 and they look at you like you're from the future when you start naming off communication apps. Yeah, I think, I don't know if what Tex's phone is. That's a great question. I don't know. Could be true. Could be a true stereotype for all we know. But that's the agenda for tonight, so I hope you guys are ready to be at least mildly entertained. I don't know, wildly would be great, but I might pull off a mildly entertaining show. You never know. Or it might be amazing. I don't know. We'll see where we get to, but for the most part, you guys are my co-host tonight. If you have questions you want to ask, please capitalize them. All capital letters makes it really jump off the page for me to see. I'm less likely to ignore it, so, you know. If you want to get my attention or have me answer something, or if you want to discuss something, bring it up. And what I said is the general guidelines for tonight's show. If we don't get to everything, or if we end up doing something a little different, I'm good with it. As long as we're having a great discussion, we'll go where we go. So let's do it. And I guess let's go. It's going to be a good one. Laura, I like you already. Thank you so much for coming. Hi, Jill Decker over on Facebook. Good to see you. Curious Potatoes over here on YouTube. Great to see you. Hello, friend is here. Good to see you all. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Trina Fuller Blue is here over on the Facebook as well. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Like to see you guys coming in wherever you're at and hanging out. And you're welcome. BJ, I saw you said thanks for stopping in over at Paul's show. You did great. You did a great job. It was a very interesting show. It was fun to watch. I did have to shake out a little early, but you guys did great. It was a lot of fun to listen to and very interesting. So nice job. Nice job. I guess that's about it. If Tex has a terrible signal when he calls, I can complete my Bigfoot research bingo card. Well, there you go. We'll have to maybe take bets on that one. I think he'll be okay. I talked to him just a few minutes ago. It seemed like it was a decent signal, at least for talking. But again, it's going to be a real low tech check-in. He's not going to be on camera. We're just going to be speaker phoning him right next to the microphone like an idiot. Me being the idiot, of course, but you know what I mean. All right. So I guess without further delay, let's get to some news and see what the hell's going on in the world around us. I don't even know. I pulled up some articles hours ago, and I don't even remember what I did. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the news. I guess I gotta push another button. I thought of something. We're also going to do What the Hell Is That? The new nightly segment we've been covering. And Barbara Morris sent me a video we're going to look at tonight for the What the Hell Is That segment. So I still don't have a cool intro for it. But I got that dorky one that I put together a few days ago. So I did pull down some segments or pieces for the new one that I'm putting together, but it's just not done yet. So anyway. All right. Love that laugh. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. This is the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your anchor, Brent Thomas. It looks exactly like the other desk because it's the same desk, but it's got this cool border around me, so it looks way more official. Now, remember, throughout the course of the show, guys, we utilize a lot of different sites, a lot of different internet sites. These sites are doing an exceptional job. Again, I can only plead with you guys, please support these sites. Please visit these pages. These are incredibly well done. And all of the people that are putting on these sites are doing an incredible job. Your traffic equals revenue. It keeps the lights on. So please visit them, check them out. So that's my preachy thing that I do nearly every show. I think every show, actually. Every show. Hold on. Hairball. There we go. All right. So we're going to start out our news-averse journey here on this incredible site that we've been using for quite a while here. I don't think I want to do this one. We're going to do this one. This one's different. I didn't even know this stuff was happening. Now, obviously, there's been these rovers on Mars for years and years, and They found some pretty cool stuff. There's also an orbiter going around constantly taking photos of the surface. And there's been some really weird things discovered. I personally believe there was probably an ancient civilization on Mars. I think so. I don't know. There's some photos that really look like absolutely geometric foundations of what might have been buildings at one time, millions of years ago. I don't know. I don't pretend to know the timetable, but I know that it doesn't make sense as a natural formation to me. Now, there's several other things that have been captured that are at least beg the question, what the hell's going on there? And that could literally be one of the segments. We've certainly covered it through the years, but there's been a mystery about these dark streaks on the surface of Mars, and according to unexplained-mysteries.com, they think they might have the answer, what the hell that is. So let's check it out. I'm going to make sure this is framed up a little better. Just briefly here. There we go. Now you guys can see everything. Okay, here we go. Mystery of dark streaks on Mars may have finally been solved. Well, there you go. We got that going for us, folks. What is the solution? Let's find out. For decades, these unusual recurring surface features have prompted speculation that there could be liquid water on Mars. They were first spotted back in the 1970s by NASA's Viking spacecraft, and these strange, dark, snake-like patterns, which can stretch for hundreds of feet, have been the subject of heated debate. And there, I guess, is an image of it, right? Looks like water. All right, let's see what they say. Some of the streaks appear to have remained unchanged on Mars for years, while others have been seen to appear and disappear within a single season. By far the most widely debated possibility is that the streaks are created by water, either running on the surface or seeping through from the underground. If water happened to be extremely salty, it could also explain how it might survive at or near the surface. How long is this article? I never even looked. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Now, however, a new study has cast doubt on the idea that the streaks have anything to do at all with water, findings which, if correct, would represent a considerable blow to the search for water on Mars. Obviously, they're in the form of ice. I saw the movie with Arnold. They just need a big superheated curling iron to go stab into the ice, and they'll have an atmosphere in 5 minutes. It's easy. A big focus of Mars research is understanding modern-day processes on Mars, including the possibility of liquid water on the surface, said that's a name. Adamus Valentinus. Okay. Adamus Valentinus of Brown University. Our study reviewed these features but found no evidence of water. Our model favors dry formation processes. The research, which involved analyzing tens of thousands of images of the streaks, suggests that these anomalous surface features are caused by little more than wind and dust. Oh, wind and dust. Dang it. I didn't have wind and dust on my bingo card for Mars. All right. Let's see. It says once we had this global map, we could compare it to databases and catalogs of other things like temperature, wind speed, hydration, rock slide activity, and other factors, said fellow researcher Valentin Bickel of the University of Bern. Then we could look for correlations across hundreds of thousands of cases to better understand the conditions under which these features form. There you go. Wes says, I think we can all agree that NASA needs to send astronaut Katy Perry up there to solve this mystery. Like, yeah, Scoob. Yeah, exactly. Send the Scooby team with her. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Could it be? Hell, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, these people get paid a lot more than me to think a lot more than I do and to know a lot more than I know. So I guess it could be true. Looks like water, though. I'm just going to go with looks like water. Might not be, but looks like it. So there you go. That's the first article tonight on the news. But wait, there's still more. We're going to do another one. This one's from the Ghost and Hauntings files of unexplained-mysteries.com. Woman claims to have seen a ghostly pilot during Ryanair flight. What was he sitting back there for? That might be why he's a ghost. He's not in his right seat. The guy's not supposed to be back there. Let's see what happened. Chloe Smith had been flying from the UK to France when she spotted what she believed to be a spirit. The 27-year-old who had been on the flight with her brother first realized that something was up when she spotted an unusual figure sitting next to a passenger 5 rows in front of her. He looked back at me, knowing I could make that connection, she said. But instead of using my body as a channel like a spirit usually does, he funnily saluted me, giving me respect, but also confirming that he knew I could see him. Maybe he was there for a nervous family member, or he could have been an old pilot who flew that exact plane. It's very magical. I didn't tell my brother. He would have thought that I was being strange, as always. But you get goosebumps, but you also get a sense of peace. Chloe maintains that she's had numerous paranormal experiences over the years. Across the road from my parents' house is a cemetery which I explored and felt connections in, she said. But there was also a ghost at the house. It was an older man. He was unhappy with my dad as he'd been doing work on that house. I couldn't sleep for days, but he meant well. Yeah, you want to piss a ghost off, start doing something with your drapes and your wallpaper. That'll let you know if you got a haunting in a hurry. I don't know. It's kind of a random article, really. It's like I was on a plane once and I saw a ghost, and then I used to live by a cemetery. Sorry, I'm not meaning to really poke fun of the person. I mean, it's I guess an incredible thing to be able to see that stuff, but that article just seemed kind of random. It's like, one time I saw a ghost. Okay. And then another time I saw a ghost, and so on. So there you have it. I don't know. It's very interesting. Very interesting, though. But yeah, you don't want to see a pilot ever back where the passengers are. What was he doing? Looking for a parachute? I don't know. Anyway, that was fun. That was funny in my head. Thank you. Anyway, I'm kind of punchy today. It's been one of those days. Just been going every direction possible. So anyway, here's the last one. Last story tonight. Why does it keep getting out of... How did it get big? There we go. That'll help. Maybe a little. I got to keep reframing this. Sorry. I don't know if the last one was framed up right or not. But here we go. Last story for tonight. This comes from the occult files of unexplained-mysteries.com. Scientists solve how 1,300-ton boulder managed to travel up a cliff. Huh? Wow. Okay, let's see what's going on here. All right, researchers recently discovered a peculiar spectacle in Tonga, a boulder that had somehow moved uphill. Weighing an estimated 1,300 tons, the huge rock raised a few eyebrows when researchers from the University of Queensland recently went to do field work on the island's cliffs. As it turned out, however, there was a genuine explanation for how the boulder, nicknamed Makalahi, or large rock, by the locals, had ended up halfway up a cliff in the middle of nowhere. The answer is the rock was carried there by a tsunami about 7,000 years ago. Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. The force of the water was so strong that the boulder had surfed its way the distance of 2 football fields from its original location atop 100-foot cliff to halfway up another. I was so surprised. It was located far inland outside of our fieldwork area, and it must have been carried by a very big tsunami, said PhD candidate Martin Kohler. Interestingly, this particular rock is now thought to be the 3rd largest rock anywhere in the world known to have been moved by a tsunami. The tidal wave itself would have been around 164 feet in height and reached speeds of up to 70 miles an hour, while taking a full 90 seconds to pass by. Can you imagine? I mean, that's like a bomb going off right in front of you. Suffice it to say, you wouldn't want to have been standing there when it hit. Yeah, no, clearly. Clearly you wouldn't. But there you go. It was a tsunami. Now mystery solved. There you go. For whatever it's worth. But this has been a presentation of the Paranormal Portal News, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Covered a few stories, covered a few interesting stories, I hope. Hope you guys enjoyed it, but we'll get on to other things. So let's go do that now, folks. Let's get back to the rest of the show. That's interesting. Laura Tharp on from Twitch says they have found complete underground cities around under the ocean. Yeah, that's surprising. I know, like Herculaneum, I think, was one of those cities that's now underwater, but it was a ancient Greek town. But I think it was due to some huge earthquake, plate tectonics kind of stuff that kind of knocked it into the drink. But that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me. Seems like the Earth crust is always doing something. It's always in motion. So there we go. Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the news, as it does. We are going to get to, I think we're going to get to the Discord question of the week first. And then we'll get to what the hell is that? And then we'll get to some Shadow People stories. Unless, yeah, I got the Ghost Radar on. Any of you guys that are new, this is the Ghost Radar. And some nights for several weeks, it'll do absolutely nothing. Some other nights, it'll just start sparking like it's detecting something. Again, I don't pretend, just so you know, if you're new to the show, I don't pretend that just because something gets flagged on there that it means it's paranormal. It just means there's an EM anomaly, electromagnetic anomaly, that it's detecting within the range of the computer and within the range of the magnetometer, which is what the piece of equipment that can measure those changes is called. And it's in everything. Your cell phone has one, your computers have one. If you have something that communicates wirelessly, it's using a magnetometer, essentially, I think is how that breaks down. So this thing is just set to keep an eye on the readings from the built-in magnetometer in the computer. So it might detect something. It also has a word database, so it might spit out words every once in a while. Usually they're pretty random and seemingly bizarre, but every once in a while it'll spit out something that goes, huh? Makes you think, like something might be paying attention. Do I think absolutely it is? No, but maybe, could be. So keep an open mind. All right. Josh Casto, whoa. Rolling in, gifting some memberships. God bless you over on YouTube. Josh Casto just gifted 5 memberships. Let's see who got them. Angela Cortez got one. Paradox Fossils got one. Jared Crazy Indian got one. Sacred Grove Brothers got one. And Steph A got memberships. So congratulations to all 5 of you. And special thanks to Josh for making it happen. Brother, thank you very, very much. That's very cool. I hate bothering you all with this stuff. What stuff are you bothering us with? Jason, no, you're family, brother. We got time for you. Andrew Baffy, serious question. Has the spirit of a dead celebrity ever been caught on camera? Some people have speculated celebrities have been caught on camera, but I don't know if you've seen most spirit photography is. I mean, it's not like someone's sitting there in person. They seem to have features that might correlate to a living or a deceased celebrity, but it could be any number of other people too. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, Andrew. I think it's possible, but it's also speculative. I think people always want to find the famous person's ghost. Like, if you go to the cemeteries where certain celebrities are buried, the one thing people go and do is like say, for instance, wherever Michael Jackson's buried, and I don't pretend to know, but it'd be like, Michael Jackson, are you here? Are you here, Michael Jackson? Is your spirit at rest? Well, there might be 50 spirits hanging out watching, and they're going out talking to Michael and not talking to us. So you'll get ignored, or you'll be meeting some spirit that wants you to think it's Michael Jackson. I don't think that they're compelled to be honest in a lot of cases, and maybe you get an impersonator, so to speak. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Is it as it happened? Very well might have. Very well might have. But and certainly there's claims out there that people have captured photos of deceased celebrities. But is that surely the case? Your guess is as good as mine. So, all right. Let's see. What are we doing? Oh yeah, we're doing Discord, aren't we? I've seen like 8 million Spirit Box sessions claiming to be talking to Tupac. Yeah, you're right, Chris Jarvis. Yeah, they can lie. Yes, says Laura Tharp. Yeah, I think they can. I don't think, I mean, you don't really ever know who you're talking to for sure. You just take it on faith most times that you're talking to who you think you're talking to. But, is that always the case? I don't think so. Yeah, I think you got to be careful. So, Chalky just posted the Discord link in the chat over on YouTube. And again, it's discord.gg/paranormal portal. And that's where you can find our Discord community, which is really important because that's where we're going right now, folks. We're going to head over to Discord and see just what's going on with the question of the week. So I guess we'll do that right now. And I'm going to do it just like this. Here we go, folks. All right, everybody, welcome to the Discord question of the week. This is where we discuss these questions that Chucky asks all of you guys on Discord. Why is this so damn big? Everything is just blown up on the screen tonight, and it doesn't look like it wants to let me scale it. Why not? I want to scale it down. Maybe if I do this. There we go. That looks more manageable. There we go. All right, this will work. This will work. Right? There we go. This is the Discord. As you may or may not know, when you join, you'll be brought to the member or the general section. Let's just take a quick peek and see if anybody new has joined since last. Ristel joined. Welcome, Ristel. You joined, looks like the 21st of May, so unfortunately, I just greeting you now, but welcome. And literally, there's discussion areas about everything paranormal, any kind of paranormal topic in our Discord server. And, if you're a member, please feel free. If you find an amazing video, article, or some other information you want to post in there, please feel free. Just keep the conversations going. This is an amazing resource. It's working out to be this incredible compendium of links and information about all the topics that are listed over here. As you can see, we've got Bigfoot, Dogman, Ghosts, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, even music, strange phenomena, paranormal library, people recommending books, movies and TV, art gallery, paranormal humor, and kitchen, where you can trade recipes. A lot of times they're pretty funny and good for Halloween time for sure. And then paranormal pets. So that doesn't mean people adopted ghosts, but it just means there's some paranormal gear you can get for your pets a lot of times, or other things. So, but we are coming for the question of the week, which is, I guess, off your screen, but it's right here. This is the questions of the week. And this is where Chucky takes the reins and brings it home. So special thanks to Chucky Danger for continuing to make this happen. What are your thoughts on cable TV paranormal shows, real or fake? I think some of them can be very, very legitimate, but I think that a lot of times they don't have a lot of control over the editing, and editors and producers can really sensationalize something to a ridiculous degree, or make something huge out of something that's maybe not quite as huge. But my take on it is that even if, and this is a quote that I've made many times, so my regulars are going to be like, oh, here we go again. If a cereal bowl moves just an inch on your table and you didn't move it and you can't explain how it moved, that's amazing. But if you had a camera on it and you recorded a quick movement, it probably wouldn't make very compelling TV. So I think the people that do the shows a lot of times have good intentions, but I think that they sometimes don't have creative control over what gets put out there. And sometimes it's exaggerated, sometimes it's embellished. sometimes a lot of different stuff goes on. But I've talked to several of those people that do shows, and they seem very sincere that they really want it to have a lot of integrity and to be real upright about it, but they don't always have that choice. And so take that for what you will. I think just remember you're watching entertainment, but it doesn't mean that nothing you're seeing is real. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm answering you or not, or if I'm just talking in circles, but I'm trying. All right, here we go. Question of the week from Chucky Danger. This is the question of the week. The Burgosphere, recently discovered in Colombia after supposedly being downed by high voltage, is a metallic object that's said to be not of human origin. What do you think about this mysterious object? Is it an elaborate hoax, unknown military technology, or something else beyond our current understanding? And here, of course, is an image of it. Yeah, let's see what everybody thought. Oh, we're back in that again. ZX81V2 gives us a link to something. The Betts Sphere Mystery and Unexplained Metal Orb Found in the Wood. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm not going to click on a whole nother video in order to find out. But it sounds like there's another sphere that was found. Annie Manuel comes in and with the first real explanation says, first, there's a difference between a sphere large enough to be seen hitting power lines on the distant side of a mountain and a soccer ball one found in a bush. This doesn't mean they were not a real UAP. It does mean that the sphere isn't the one people saw. Secondly, I don't think advanced aliens are using Dremels to imperfectly etch metal. Some of the lines on that bell just go in or out of the design's edge, like someone doing something by hand. By hand would. The ghost box says amount. I guess we're talking about the size of the balls, so maybe amount is a relevant word. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, continuing. But you know who is involved and who probably pays someone to use Dremels? Jaime Maussan. Is there guilt by association with this one? He has turned to spheres since his plaster of Paris fake mummy figures were exposed. Yeah, the mummy figures that he was trying to pitch, I thought were just ridiculous. Thirdly, there have been two. AI analyzes of the script. Large language model AI uses pre-existing languages. So how come no human couldn't recognize a language in that script? If it's a legitimate translation, then it's using a human language because no large language model AI can translate an alien language. The second AI analysis found the script to be one used in Star Wars. Conclusion, the recovered Burgosphere is not from a galaxy far, far away. It's from a very close planet, Earth. Very in-depth. Thank you. Thank you, Annie. I appreciate all that information. I didn't know most of that. Barbara Morris says, I simply cannot take this seriously. If I hadn't seen the x-rays and close-ups of the sphere, I still wouldn't have taken it seriously. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. As soon as Jaime's involved with something, it already gets a little stupid. What in the hell is it doing? Jesus. All right. Then we're going to go to Karen Alberding, who says, it doesn't look extraterrestrial to me at all. It just looks like a man-made steel ball. I haven't heard of this at all, to be honest, so hard for me to give any kind of intelligent opinion on it. And John T. says, I say of Chinese origin. It could be, it's a Timu ball is probably what it is. Timu volleyball. We'll go with that. Yeah, I don't know. It's anything that Jaime's attached to for me is automatically a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'd love for this stuff to be real. I really would, but I can't suspend logic. I can't suspend, critical thinking in order to just buy into it. That guy's he's been really jonesing to make himself an authority in this stuff for decades, honestly. The guy's been around forever trying to perpetuate his own legend. And I don't know, I just don't buy it. Anything that he's touched, to me, just has a real funky vibe to it. Like, here we go again, Jaime. There we go. So I appreciate what everybody's saying, yeah. I think it's funny. I don't know about this, the Betts sphere. Bets. Why am I having trouble saying sphere? Sphere. Yeah, I've seen that. Laura's saying, has anyone ever seen the cloud that floated around near the ground? I've seen a few of those videos. There's a few of them out there, Laura. They're pretty old, but they do seem to show something that almost looks like a cross between a cloud and cotton candy. It's really crazy. Seems to interact with touch, too. Those are really wild videos. I don't know what to make of them. The first one I ever saw looked like it came from the Middle East somewhere. And there's some guy in a car and he gets out and it's kind of like this cloud is stuck on a fence or something. And it's kind of tearing apart and little wisps of its cloudiness are going. And it looks like it's dying. I don't know. Looks like it's a dying cloud. I don't know what they are. Is it possible that there's some version of living organism or maybe a collective organism, much like a jellyfish that lives in our atmosphere? Maybe. And maybe those are examples of that. I don't know. I'm just throwing spitballing ideas here, but yeah, I've seen those videos. They're very interesting. Yep. So anyway, I don't know. I think those are real videos. There's real videos and people who fake the hell out of it. Yeah, it's very true. So anyway, that's the question of the week. Not a lot of participation this week. Wait, there's 2 more messages. What happened? Android came in. Android just came in just a moment ago. It says, even if the famous alien guy says it's not alien, then it's not alien. That's Georgie Soukalos. What did he say? Look, another quite cheap version of the fake Bet's Mystery Sphere has surfaced. Google it, Bet's Mystery Sphere. Okay, so that's what ZX81V2 is talking about. And this is 2.0 and still crappy and non-alien. Georgie just unloaded. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. What is this? He's kind of zooming in on this. Yeah, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look very geometrically correct. I mean, it's a neat pattern and all. Looks like a 1980s circuit board from a Commodore 64.
Rhode Island.
Instead of Rhode Island. What the hell is that? What the hell is Rhode Island? Why did the ghost box say Rhode Island? Anybody understand that? Is that where the Bet's Mystery Sphere is from? Yeah, Georgie's pretty awesome. He is. Anybody know where the Bet's Mystery Sphere is? Because if it's from Rhode Island, I might just collectively poop myself. That's pretty awesome. Not literally. I wouldn't literally do that, but I think that's pretty bizarre. That's 2 words. I mean, it's one name, but it's 2 words. It doesn't usually do that. It usually gives these one-word things like zipper or pickle or... No, it said Rhode Island. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what that means, Amy. That's weird. Very weird. Said Rhode Island. Rhode Island. So if anybody knows where that correlates with these mystery spheres, or is that where Georgie's from? Maybe he's from Rhode Island. Hell, I don't know. But what about the one where the little alien walked across the camera, faked or real? I don't know. I mean, there's been so many of people having videos of aliens, the Greys sitting there being interviewed in Area 51, or, you know, the ones walking by the... There's one that was doing the rounds that was actually a clip from a movie. It was called, what's the one Mel Gibson was in where they had the crop circles and what's his name? The Phoenix was in there with the tinfoil hats. I can't remember the name of that movie, but anyway, there was a clip that was doing the rounds on the internet that was actually from that movie, which is pretty funny. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you guys hear that Annabelle doll disappeared in Texas? No, I didn't. That's not good. I know that plantation burned down after she visited in Texas, didn't it? Yeah. John Temperance says, looks like the ball that carried the Infinity Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, it might be it. That might be the one. I don't know. But at any rate, there you go. This is the question of the week. Thank you to everybody that participated. Took the time to weigh in any. Bogart came in and said fake. So that's the last answer we got. Fair enough. I think it's fake too. Unfortunately, it's sad. But again, Jaime's been really working on creating a legend for himself. And unfortunately, he's tripping all my Scooby-Doo meters, unfortunately. The guy is kind of making a mess of things. So there you have it. This is the question of the week. We love your participation, all of you guys. And not every question is going to be for everybody, and that's fine. Just if you feel like you're moved to weigh in on it, even if you think what you're going to say is ridiculous, please feel free. There aren't any really right answers, and there aren't any real wrong answers. There's just ideas. So please don't be afraid to put your ideas in there and let us know what you think. But this has been the question of the week. And with that, I'll do this. All right, that was the question of the week. I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your input, and thank you, Chucky, for making it happen again, brother. I really appreciate it. Those things are awesome questions. Really, very thoughtful, and you've done a much, much better job than I ever could have. You just keep coming from all these different angles with things that sometimes I got to look up what you put in there. It's like, what the hell is that? So I got to go look it up just so I have an idea what the hell we're talking about. Yeah, amen. So it's good to see you all. Thank you for coming in. I'm actually Bigfoot. Thanks, guys. Curious Potato's a Bigfoot. There you go. Well, we got to have an interview then, Curious Tater, because I got some questions for you. I think we need answers. And I need a drink. I need to refresh myself. Paranormal Paul, how you doing, brother? Thanks for coming in. Love the bandana. You got your BMR starter kit on today. I said that in your chat and you didn't even acknowledge it. Damn it. If you know Bigfoot Michigan Rob, he's always wearing the bandanas, and tonight Paranormal Paul had a pirate bandana on. It was funny. You didn't give me any love in your chat though when I did that. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, that's funny. Let's see, what are we doing now? I know what we're doing now. I remember once again. And what are we doing? We're going to do, what the hell is that? So, without further delay.
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? Well, that's me trying to get everything done here. I realize I got this overlaid wrong, don't I? What is this? I can move that over. I got to get the chat up on top here, it looks like. I got some issues here, folks. There we go. There, the chat's on top now. What the hell is that? Well, this is a video that was sent to me by Barbara Mora. And God bless you, Barbara. I appreciate it. You're making my life so much easier. And this is it. This is not a new one by any means, but it's very interesting. Let me do this so it's up high enough you all can see. And this is coming from, looks like Brian Forever 7, I assume on Facebook or on TikTok. Where is this from? Is this Facebook or TikTok? Oh, it's from YouTube. It's a YouTube short. Never mind. It's a YouTube short, but it's Brian_Forever7 posted this, but this is not his video. I've seen this several times. This is during the wildfires on January of this year. And there was this, I don't know, artifact caught in the clouds that looks like it might have been something. So let's check it out, see what you guys think. Here we go.
On January 7th, 2025, during the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, something strange appeared in the sky over Santa Monica, California. While the area was covered in thick smoke and chaos from the evacuations, a mysterious...
I really would like not to get copyright stricken. There's the object right there, and this is in the haze and smoke. It does look like what might be a UFO. Just kind of sitting there hovering, almost invisible in the clouds, but somehow somebody caught it. Now, is it legitimate? Maybe. The thing is that it's, I mean, it looks like it could really be there. It seems to be at least in the same, sharing a resolution with the image around it. Even as they're zoomed in here, the pixelization is matching between the clouds and the actual object itself. So a lot of times when you see an object superimposed on it, the resolutions will be different. And if you look at it under different filters, you can actually see a variation between the pixelization of the anomaly and the craft in this case, like a craft. Let me put it on this one. Maybe this would be easier to see. That way I can be a part of your experience again. In case I do hand gestures and you're missing them. Because sometimes I talk my hands. So now here's the thing. There was a lot of speculation. And this is, in my opinion, how people jump to conclusions. Now, I'm not saying there's no merit to this possibility, but I don't know where they came to this conclusion. So the conclusion some people drew, and it was due to video like this or this very one. I don't remember. I think there were a few. But some people came to the conclusions that maybe it was started by aliens. They started these fires. And I don't know that that's the case. I think let's just pretend that they're here as observers. They're here just watching what the hell's going on. Well, they're certainly going to cue into big events like this, just like we do. We turn on the news and see these sensational reports. Well, they have the ability to just be there. So why wouldn't they be there if they were aware of the incident happening? So it doesn't surprise me. It's kind of like the correlation some people have made with Bigfoot and UFOs. Well, I saw a UFO, and then soon after that, I saw a Bigfoot, or I saw a Bigfoot near where the UFO was, or some people claim to have seen it coming out of a UFO. But it doesn't mean Bigfoot isn't abducted just like people are. And here's the thing with, in the Bigfoot example, we know that Bigfoot are curious. They're exceptionally curious with what's going on around them. And they've been known to peek into campers and look in windows and go through people's stuff just to see what we're doing. They sit and watch, usually from a somewhat safe distance, but sometimes surprisingly not. And I think, what do people do when we see strange lights in the sky? We go out and we start looking at the sky going, oh, wow, there it is. That doesn't mean we came from the UFO. So I think Bigfoot, being a curious seeker, sees those lights. It's as interested in that as we are. And so it probably gets a little clumsy, comes out of hiding and goes, wow, what the hell's that? And people see them and think, well, it must come from the UFO. In this case, I don't think that UFOs are probably here starting wildfires. I don't understand it. I think if they were really intent on doing harm and causing problems, that they would just do that. They wouldn't covertly start forest fires and stuff, unless it's some kind of weird intelligence test. Like, let's see how they put this one out. I don't know, maybe they're testing us, but I think it's an interesting video. It could very well be legitimate. Could it be a hoax? Yeah, it could. I mean, it could be done. And it's not like it would be incredibly difficult, but they really did pay attention to a lot of the detail if they did hoax this. And the way that it's obscured by the clouds and yet somewhat visible, you can catch sunlight flashes on the shiny surface of the hull. So I don't know. Again, it's a very pixelated image. It's a very pixelated image, so it's not even conclusive that that's a UFO. It just is literally an unidentified flying object, and that doesn't imply that it's extraterrestrial or extra dimensional or whatever definition you might have. It just means we don't know what the hell it is, but it seems like it's there. So I don't know. Could just be a high flying passenger jet that caught the sun just perfectly, and the wings are in line with the camera, and you don't get to see the rudder because it's a lot of smoke. So I don't know. I mean, it could just be a jet. It could be so much more, but again, too many questions, not enough answers, and I don't know. But it's a good video, and it's a good discussion point. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You'll have to let me know. You think it's Snuffy says 100% crapola. Okay, thanks. Area 51. No, this is the LA wildfires. I think wasn't this LA? Yeah, Los Angeles wildfires on January 7th, 2025. So this is definitely there. But could it be ours? If it is an advanced flying craft, could it be one of ours? Maybe. There is that possibility. If there is reverse engineered craft that might be reverse engineered from recovered alien craft, then yeah, I mean, that could be an example of it. But anyway, you be the judge. I think it's nothing definitive, but it's interesting. Could be legitimate, could be fake, could be absolutely just misunderstood, and it's just a jet on the other side of the clouds. I mean, it is LA, so the jets are coming and going all the time. I mean, it's and I'm certain that the wildfires probably didn't tamper that down too much. I mean, LA is one of the busiest airports in the world, so where planes are coming from all directions at all times. So this could just be a misidentified passenger jet. There's always that possibility too. So anyway, food for thought though, but thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing this and bringing it to our attention. I think it's pretty awesome. Whatever it is, it's really pretty cool. So let me know in the comments what you think, or in the chat. Makes sense. I live in California. Always wildfires. It says about. The ghost box is really talking tonight. It says about. It'll go weeks and weeks and not say anything. And now tonight it's just chattery. I think those fires could have been prevented to a point. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I agree, Laura. I think it was mishandled on so many levels. Just in terms of preparation and having working water lines might have been a good start, but it goes pretty much downhill from there. So, but yeah. There you have it. I don't know. Great share, though. Thank you, Barbara. I can't zoom in, Karen. I can't do much of anything because it's a short video. I don't have ability to zoom in on these or anything. But interesting, though. An interesting discussion. So believe what you will. I don't have an opinion really either way. It could be, but it could also not be. So this has been, as soon as I can get to it. I got to get this hot button so I can do it quicker. This has been, I'm not even sure what this has been. Where the hell is it? I lost it. I lost my transition. I'm looking for a freaking W. Why can't I see a W? It literally isn't here. Oh, there it is.
What the hell is that?
There you go. What the hell is that? Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. And any of you guys find videos or images or things that you want me to discuss, please send them to me. Email them to me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. I'd be happy to cover them on the show, and I can weigh in with what I think. But I think oftentimes that's going to be the case. I mean, it's ambiguous. A lot of these captures are very ambiguous because honestly, the one common denominator in a lot of paranormal and cryptozoological photographic or video image is they're not very close. They're usually pretty far away, and in order to see it, you got to be zoomed, in enough that it just breaks down the image. It's so zoomed in and so cropped that everything gets pixelated, and you really can't pull any detail anyway. We're all hampered by the resolution of our cameras, and unfortunately, if it is a good camera, it's still about 300 yards out with a zoom lens and digital zooms, and then there's the compression issues of image files and video files. And then there's people cranking up the contrast to an unbelievable level just so you can make it out. And then you got to wonder if it's not just pareidolia because it's just not recognizable. So a lot of evidence, quote unquote evidence, is not really good evidence. But don't be afraid to send it in. It's not like I'm grading them and handing them back. These are just good discussion points. And if you find something that's obviously a scam, like when I posted the video of the guys hosing barnacles off of whales, that's a scam. It's all fake. It's an AI fabrication, but this stuff is all over out there. So don't be afraid to send something in. I'd love to see it. All right. Well, there you go. Now we're going to get to some articles. We're going to get to some shadow people stuff. We've been covering this last couple shows, and we got to get up to 26 sometime, but we're on number 12, and we're going to get there. But we're on number 12. This is from Thought Catalog, and Thought Catalog is a great site. I've loved Thought Catalog for years and years. They just got a whole scope and spread of different topic areas. But you can find articles on pretty much everything you're interested in over there. So please support Thought Catalog. It's just a great site. So this, though, is from their paranormal files, basically. We're on number 12, right? Yeah. So let me scroll up to the top so you guys can see the actual article. This article is from Thought Catalog, and it is 26 gripping, bone-chilling encounters with shadow people that you won't be able to forget. So hopefully you don't forget. If you do, it's okay. So this is written by Eric Redding, and it's been a fantastic article. He did a great job. It was last updated 3 years ago, September 27th, 2022. So it's kind of from the archives, but the beauty of paranormal stuff is it's always valid. It's always, in advertising, they call it evergreen. It's always evergreen. It's always relevant because it never goes out of style. You can read ghost stories from the 1800s, and they're still fascinating, because it's what people experienced, or at least claim they experienced. So, all right, so this one is number 12, intimidating. And the story goes, for years, one shadow person, it seemed male in retrospect, used to stand by my mom's bed and essentially would force me to go to sleep. He would interrupt me reading books by basically being so distracting and then eventually intimidating. Well, I had to leave the light on or pull the covers over my head just to fall asleep. His shape was kind of adult size, oval, with diffuse edges. And he wouldn't really move. He only ever really occupied 2 spots next to the bed. Okay, so I'm going to kind of spiderweb off of this because it's one of the enigmas for me personally that I've always wondered about. And this is the phenomena of people like waking up out of a dead sleep feeling something's wrong. They open their eyes and there's a ghostly face, literally inches from their own face, which is about the most horrifying way I could think of to ever wake up. It's like, oh my God, that's just not necessary. And I always wondered, like, why does that come up so often? What are they doing? And then it occurred to me, and this is just a wild theory, but I want to throw it out there, see what you guys think. I think maybe they can watch us dream. They can watch our dreams. Because what else would we be doing? What else would they be doing? Except getting close and just really watching the dream. Because it's not like people are waking up and their soul's getting sucked out or something. They just get terrified. Like, Jesus, what the hell? And it's like, why are they so close? But I think it's maybe akin to just pulling up on the big screen TV and just like they're just compelled to watch us dream. Maybe they can't dream. Maybe they've lost that ability or something. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think. So you guys got to let me know what you think about that. I've been saying that for years now on the show. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. Why would they be right up on our grill while we're sleeping, but then our intuition's like, hey, something's not right. What's that decrepit breath in my face? Well, then you open your eyes and it's a face like right up to yours, just like, what a horrifying, horrible way to wake up. So I think maybe they watch us dream. I don't know. Just an idea. So maybe this thing was just like, get to bed. I want to watch the show. I want to watch my story. All right, here we are, number 13. Can they disguise themselves? Or they can disguise themselves, rather. I've encountered a few in my life. There are demons or jinn. They're not good. I'm a sensitive empath and I feel death. I've never been approached by a good shadow person. They put on a facade to get you to let your guard down if you have one. The most frightening experience I have had was about 3 months ago. I was visiting my hometown and staying at my mother's house. I was in the back bedroom lying in bed and turned the TV off for the night. The door was closed and the room was pitch black. I felt and heard someone in my room. I honestly thought it was my brother looking for something. He might have left in my room and didn't want to wake me up, but I turned and looked towards the door and I saw a tall black figure. It was so dark. I could see it in the pitch black. And I asked who it was with no answer. I asked what it wanted and it moved closer. I felt such fear and a weight I've become desensitized to spirits, so that was odd. It wanted me to be afraid. I yelled as loud as I could, "Go away, leave me alone." It stayed, and I got up, picked up my phone, and turned on the flashlight. And when the light filled the room, the black figure was gone, and my door was cracked open. I grabbed my rosary, which was blessed, and an eagle feather, and prayed until I fell asleep. I never pray, and I still don't know what it wanted, but now it is masking itself as a little boy, about 7 or 8, maybe with black hair and sad eyes. Well, I've told him to leave, but he still peeks around corners at me. Don't encourage them. Just tell them to go away. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know what they are. I don't pretend to know. But again, I've heard both versions. I've heard they're absolutely evil, horrible things. I've heard that they're actually doing a benevolent service by absorbing and processing negative energy. I've heard both of those. You ever meet someone that said, "Don't go near that guy. He's an absolute dick. He's just horrible." And then you might, by some happenstance or another, actually meet the person they're talking about and think, "What a great guy. I like that guy. What are they talking about?" So I often wonder if this is not the same for, spiritual stuff. These people that swear they know the truth and they're going to tell you, and, could they be wrong? Now, I'm not encouraging people to try to go make friends with spirits or not. I mean, you got to make your own call on that. Follow your own heart, your own calling. Follow maybe your spirituality or your belief system for better guidance than that. I'm not trying to guide anybody, but I do wonder if, some of these people that swear up and down, they can tell you what time it is and, what watch you should use. And, all these, they're so sure of themselves. And I wonder, maybe it's just you they don't like. Maybe they don't like you. Because I'll tell you, I have covered thousands of haunting stories through the years, literally thousands. There's so many stories of people moving into a house and having just a god-awful time with hauntings, just having absolutely their whole life is in upheaval while they're there. Meanwhile, they end up leaving, abandoning the place, and moving out. Another family will come in and not experience a thing. And maybe it's kind of akin to with people. Sometimes you meet someone you just don't like, and there's no real rationalizing it. It's just like, that guy's a dick. I do not like that person. I don't want to be around him. I don't know what it is. So maybe it's the same thing with some of the spiritual stuff. Like these ghosts are like, I don't like these people in my house. I want them the hell out. I don't want them in here. Don't even touch the doorknob. Just get the hell out. I think sometimes these spirits may have an attachment to a place. But maybe they like the next family. It's like, I like these guys. Yeah, they can live here peacefully. This will be fun. And so maybe it's similar. I don't know. Just an idea. Just throwing out ideas. That's what I do in the portal. I'm not pretending I have the answers. But I do always feel this great cautionary vibe. Every time someone will tell you, "Oh, I know, trust me, I am this, that, and this, and I know this, that, and this. And you got to listen to me because I know." It's like, wow, that's a whole lot of opinion. And maybe they do. It's just, to me, it's like, well, I'm one of those guys that kind of got to see for myself. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid. Maybe I'm an idiot. But anyway, that's my take on it. All right. Number 14, confronting a shadow person. I woke up one night at around 3 a.m. And as I made my way back to the kitchen to get some water, I noticed that a shadow person was sitting in my recliner in the family room. I would say that I was shocked, but the truth is, I've seen shadow people my whole life. So one more encounter was just passé at this point. Just to make sure that my eyes weren't playing tricks on me, I stood there, motionless for roughly 2 minutes to give my eyes time to adjust to the light. And as my eyes adjusted, it was clear that there was indeed a shadow person sitting in my recliner just staring at me. I'm not sure why, but I decided to start walking towards it. With each step, it continued to stare at me, and as I drew closer, it actually leaned forward as if ready to, flee. He wrote flew, but I think we meant flee. And as it leaned forward, I stopped and just stood there. It stared back at me and gradually leaned back into the recliner. I then started again walking towards it, which caused it to lean forward once again and eventually evaporate away as I was within 3 steps of it. I stood there, shrugged my shoulders, and shook my head in disappointment. I expected something to happen, but it didn't. Again, that's allegedly a shadow person, and it's not necessarily a malevolent encounter, right? I don't know. Maybe they are more utilitarian, or at least maybe some of them are. Maybe they're not all evil. I don't know. All right, here we go. Number 14, shadow people are a negative energy taking on physical form. Again, this person will tell you all about it. Are they right? Maybe. Here we go, as a psychic medium. And don't get me wrong, I love the whole idea of people being sensitive and picking up on things. I love it. I think it's great. More power to you, but it doesn't mean that person is absolutely right. I think, if you talk to any honest psychic, they'll tell you, well, sometimes you're really drilled in and dialed into things, and sometimes it's not so clear, and you just do your best to weed your way through it. I mean, I grew up in the company of several sensitives. It's kind of in my whole upbringing. Not throughout the whole course of my life, but through very, very significant portions of my life. People that were very dear to me were very psychic, or sensitive at least. So I don't like the term psychic. To me, it just has such a negative connotation to it, because it's also the practiced art of charlatans and scam artists. So I don't like the term psychic. But anyway, as a psychic medium and someone who has a lot of experience with them, they're pretty much bits of negative energy that take on a life of their own. Just little entities that will grow bigger and bigger the more you pay attention to them and feed them energy by being depressed, annoyed, or angry. They get huge too, and I'm not sure of their origin, but they certainly seem to watch you. There was one that would stand at the top of my staircase when I was younger, and when I came home from school, it would dart away. Seriously, no explanation for it. No other light interfering with the shadows. It was also freestanding. They aren't very harmful unless you interact with them. People usually just brush them off as illusions, and that works quite well if you don't want them to be around. That wasn't terrible. That one wasn't so arrogant, but that person at least wasn't telling you that they were going to break it all down for you, and you better listen. All right, number 15, they are not necessarily evil again. I generally see 3 different things. The first are full apparitions. The typical semi-transparent people, rarely are they opaque like any other living person, but that's very rare for me. These happen the least, but they're the most talked about, I think. The second is partial apparitions, and these are kind of weird because I know that there's the rest of the person attached to it, but I can only see something like just a head bobbing along or just a hand going back and forth. It moves like it's attached to an invisible arm and shoulder, but you can only see the hand or leg. It's really weird. These happen a bit more than full apparitions. And lastly are the shadow people. They pretty much always take a full shape. It's like if you took a mold of a person and filled it with black smoke, and then removed the mold, and the smoke held the form mostly. I can't make out features, but, well, it's not always people, but animals too. I've heard people say shadow people are different than ghosts, but my own experience does not reflect that. I've seen the same people and animals take on all 3 different forms. My dead grandmother doesn't usually take on the smoke shadow form because she knows it disturbs me because I can't tell who it is when they look like that, so she makes the extra effort to be a full-bodied apparition. It's been years since I've seen her though. But what I think it is the different forms either take more energy or are more difficult. The shadow seems the easiest form to take on, but the other strange thing is that some of the time they seem really, really surprised when I see and react to them. Like they're trying to be like they weren't trying to be visible. Sorry, I have real world experience with this, but that doesn't mean I have the answers. The more experience I get, the more questions I have. Good point. The one thing I can say is that they're very kind to me. They aren't evil. They have a range of personalities just like people. And I have a lot of good ones that keep the bad ones away. There you go. That's fair enough. I don't know. I mean, that again it's somewhat of a humble explanation, but yeah, I do think that spirits can decide how they want to appear. There was one, this is a story I've only told maybe one other time in my life. And it happened in this very house, but it was about 6 years ago. We've been here for about a decade now. But it was about 6 years ago or 7 years ago. And I was sitting out. It was a summer night. It was very warm, but the nights up here get kind of chilly. But I was sitting on the front step, and I live in town. So there's a sidewalk in front of my house and a road and such. So it's not like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. But I was sitting there on the step, and I'm just kind of relaxing, and I just had a feeling there was a presence ahead of me. So I was almost in a meditative state though. But as I was staring at me, just looking in the darkness, there's a street light down the street one way and then one down the other way. So it's pretty shadowy out in front of me here. But suddenly I started to see a faint torso, like basically a waist and legs, walking by on the sidewalk. It was just a waist and legs though. And it just walked by. And I was like, well, that's the damnedest thing I ever saw. And it was a very personal experience, but I really couldn't equate it to much, so I really don't talk about it much. But you guys, this is now the second time I've shared that story, but it's a true story. I did see it. I know I saw it, but it was just from the waist down, but not the feet. So like a waist and two legs walking by, and that was all I saw. So that's interesting that this person brings up that there's, maybe a hand, maybe, one portion of the body, because that's what brought it back for me. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I've experienced that one. So very interesting. I think we'll do number 16, and then we'll probably stop and do some cryptids here. So let's do this one. I remember we weren't scared. My true story. My wife and I will swear to it in front of any person on this planet. We lived in a fairly new double-wide mobile home that sits on a spot that has never had any kind of house on it and is at least half a mile from where any house has ever sat. So you wouldn't think that it would be a likely location for a haunting. However, my wife and I have on occasion seen some rather strange things there, the most startling of which I can relate here. One night after an eventful day with my wife, I retire for the night and we sleep in a large waterbed. Oh my God. The 80s called and they want their bed back. A waterbed. God, I haven't heard waterbed for decades. Ah, wow. Okay. Some time had passed and I was unable to sleep, and my wife's breathing had become regular and reached a point at which I assumed that she was asleep. It must be also known that we leave a light on in our bathroom furthest from our bedroom because we normally have children in the house. However, that night there was no one in the house except for my wife and I. But the light was on as usual, casting a glow through our open bedroom door, which weakly lit it. While lying there unable to sleep, I became aware of a presence, and suddenly a silent figure moved through our bedroom door and proceeded parallel to our bed. When rounding the corner of our bed, took up a fixed position at the foot of our bed. And I was aware that this entity was conscious of us and was intently watching us as we lie there. The entity can best be described as something that had the appearance of black smoke or a shadow. However, it was more material than either of these, but less material than a real person. The most odd thing about this is my lack of fear. Although I was acutely aware of this being and the fact that it was not of this earth as we perceive it, it did not seem to arouse any fear response in me. I would say it aroused a feeling that would somehow fit better between creepy, odd, and curiosity, especially considering the fact that it was aware of me and as I was aware of it. Well, after some time, I almost convinced myself that I was just imagining it, but then I became aware of the fact that my wife was no longer breathing like she was asleep, but breathing almost silently. And I then said, "Honey, are you awake?" To which she answered, "Yes." And then I said, "Do you see anything?" Expecting her to reply to be, "What do you mean?" But much to my surprise, she said, "You mean that thing standing at the foot of the bed?" Well, at this time, I did become somewhat nervous. We laid there for about 10 minutes, and then it was gone. It was over just a period of about 10 seconds, became less solid, and our perception of its presence became weaker until it just wasn't there anymore. Then it was as if it had never been there. Nothing like this has happened since, and the only evidence it ever existed is my wife and my memories of it. That's fascinating. Wow. Again, I think they're everywhere. I think there are spirits everywhere and anywhere around us. It's just, I'm not sure they're acutely aware of us at most times, but maybe some of them are. Maybe some of them are at that similar wavelength to us. I think many others just exist absolutely obtuse, like we are of the spirit world. We just don't normally become aware of it unless we get that moment of like connection. And maybe that's the weird vibe, like, hey, something's watching me. And then we become tuned into it. It becomes tuned into us. Maybe it creates a quantum entanglement of some kind. I don't know. That's a fancy way of saying connected. I don't know. Just sounded cooler than saying connected. It's interesting though, right? I don't know. I like that story though. Okay. So we'll be on number 17 for the next show, but we'll leave it there. I think that's where we're going to leave that one lay. So, but we got some work to do here. I got a long Sasquatch Chronicles report from, this one's from May 1st, my birthday, as a matter of fact. It was a 2006 incident near Huntington, Texas. And that is going to lead off the Cryptid Corner. So let's get to it, folks. The Cryptid Corner, starting now. Chucky says spirit at the end of the bed is not a good time. Yeah, I don't think I'd like that much. Wake up and something's standing there. It's not a good feeling. Hi, Spirit Stalker 54. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I'm going to get a drink. I'm getting a bit parched. All right. Well, we're going to get to this Cryptid Corner now, ladies and gentlemen. Cryptozoology is the study of creatures that are not officially documented by science. They're not acknowledged by biology as we know it, but nonetheless, hundreds of people every year see these strange creatures that just defy our understanding of the biological world around us. Maybe the metaphysical, supernatural world as well. Depends on what your feeling is on that. Are they flesh and blood? Are they something more? Perhaps with a foot in 2 dimensions, interdimensional beings, or are they more spiritual, whatever. So people are regarding those as cryptids, creatures we just don't know much about. So let's check it out. This one's from May 1st, my birthday. 2006 incident near Huntington, Texas. I was going to check in with Texas. Speaking of that, since we're in the Cryptid Corner, let me get to this. I almost forgot we were going to check in with Tex. Let's do it now. I'm putting him on speakerphone. Let me do this.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 940.
Oh, let me not do that. I want to broadcast his phone number to everybody. But anyway.
Not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, Tex. You're live on the Paranormal Portal. We're just checking in to see what's going on Dogman Planet down there. So hopefully your guys are doing good. Unfortunately, it looks like we missed you. Yeah, we were gonna talk to him. Sharon Sunshine says Tex was driving today, but we know Tex is actually there. Anyway, Tex, we're leaving you a message live. Everybody says hello, sending their love, and telling you to be safe and keep us posted. Apparently, we won't get that update today, but anyway, good luck, brother. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, we left him a message. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Oh, my God. I wonder if he'll call back. I don't know. Maybe he'll call back, but I was going to check into with him right off the bat since we were going to deal with the cryptids, but it didn't work. Anyway, it's just par for the course. Sometimes things work out great on these shows, and sometimes not so much. So, at any rate, you heard me leave Tex a voicemail, so I hope he enjoys that. And let's see what this is. What is this? Mr. Germer. Huh. Is that... Oh, that must be over there. Let's check this out. You should play this for your audience if you didn't grab it already. Oh, I don't think we did. Let's play it now, ladies and gentlemen. This is right from Wes right now. Let's see what this is. Hold on. Since we're in the cryptid corner, let's check it out. What was it called? Strange Noise. Okay, let's see where it is. Here it is. Strange Noise. Any ideas? This is a sound file. Let's get to this. We already did that, so we don't need to do that part again. This is coming from... Oh, looks like there's Tex right now. Let's get to him. Hello, you are live on the air.
Oh, hello there.
How's it going, Mr. Tex Wesson?
It's going good, brother. Going good down here at Dogman Ranch.
Dogman Ranch. I said Dogman Planet accidentally, but Dogman Ranch. That's what I meant. So, what have you guys done so far, or how long are you down there for?
Well, we came in yesterday, and we're here unless we get stormed out. We're here till Monday.
Okay.
So, we did our first dive today, in the creek for doing. It was supposed to be some fossil hunting, but unfortunately, with all this rain, the water's murky, and you can see about an arm's length.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You have to kind of feel your way around, and if you feel something interesting, bring it up and take a look at it. So it's a little tough to do, and that's disappointing, but man, it was so good to get back in the water and do the diving stuff again. I felt like I was coming back home. I mean, I missed it so much.
Oh, cool. And so far you haven't found anything real peculiar, but are you going to do the same thing again?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for another dive tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm actually in camp right now, but pretty much, let's see, me and Pops and Ranger and his wife, we're all in camp, and Monica and her husband, Nicholas, and the property owners, Uderson and his wife, and a friend of theirs, they're out scouting right now. So they took thermals and night vision with them, and they're out scouting right now. So.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, if you would please tell Uderson I said hello. He was on the show.
I will.
We had a great discussion. So yeah, he's a great guy. Man.
Yeah, he is. He's good people.
So you're gonna hit the open spaces tonight then, or are you pretty much done for the day as far as your research?
You know what? I keep weird hours, so it is nothing for me to get up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and go wandering around by myself. So that's not out of the cards yet.
Okay, gotcha. I gotcha.
But My plan is tomorrow night to go up to where I had the crawler sighting, which, as the crow flies from us right now, it's about 700 yards away. But when you drive up there, it's about 1.5 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean we're sitting in the middle of 2,000 acres.
Oh, gotcha. Wow, that's a lot of land.
The only company we got here is the wildlife and cows. So,
and some undocumented cryptids.
Yeah, absolutely. But the wildlife's been active. I haven't heard or really seen anything odd yet.
Okay.
But we've only been here one night, so we may start seeing some action.
Okay.
Either tonight or maybe tomorrow. So.
Okay.
But the coyotes are starting to kick off. We've had turkeys around us for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've had several. I've seen about 6 or 8 turkeys and heard them all over around camp, and of course I'm hearing coyotes now. They're starting to kick off.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And we didn't hear any coyotes last night, which was really weird.
Well,
but
that means they're coming.
Yeah. So we may very well. There's another. There's an old homestead that we haven't researched, and we had something odd happen up there the first time I went up there. Me and Ranger and Ulerson were up there. It was our first trip out here. We're just kind of getting the lay of the land. And we went up to this old house, and they they were in the middle of tearing it down, and the workers got spooked and left.
Oh.
So,
wow.
But we were up there, and I had went around the house into the backyard and was looking at some stuff, and Ulerson and Ranger had went up into the front door, and they heard a door slam and somebody walking, and they hollered at they thought it was me, and they hollered at me, and I'm in the backyard. Wasn't me.
Oh no. Wow.
So we're gonna go check that out and see if we can get any action there. I'll probably go, like I said, go visit that crawler site tomorrow night.
Okay.
And do some more looking around. Probably go out by myself. Well, I'm going to the crawler site by myself. So I want to sit up there for a couple hours and see if anything happens or whatever. Man. So.
Well, Curious Potato says, dude, are you filming it?
We're filming the pertinent parts, yeah. So when we do our investigations, we'll film all of it, yeah. And we're also filming the dive sessions too. Unfortunately, the murky water really, the underwater camera work there's no sense in it. We couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it's very murky. Yeah. But
we're being filmed from shore, so when we bring, the fossils or whatever up, we'll be able to see that.
Okay.
See that.
Fantastic.
We filmed our first session today, and then, like I said, we're going to do at least one more dive tomorrow, depending on how many spots we decide to hit, because there's a couple of spots that we can hit. So if we hit a couple of deep holes, we may do 2 or 3 dives. We'll see. But,
fantastic. Well,
but we just found out we've got some storms going to move in, so everybody kind of buttoned up their tents. And
yeah. What is it with you guys getting stormed out every time you come there, man?
Man, I tell you what, I'm just hoping that, because it's just supposed to be a little squall line come through.
Sure.
And that's what came through last time and jacked everything up.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to buy a new tent and.
Jeez, man.
But.
Well, you all take care of yourselves, and you just know we love you, and be careful. And
I love you too, brother.
can't wait for the updates, man. Be careful and give everyone our love too.
Will do. Thank you, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Tex. Thanks for calling back.
You bet.
See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tex Wesson. There it is. All right, very cool. I'm glad that we were able to connect with him. That's outstanding. He must not have had his phone available when I called last time. I never did ask him, what were you doing? But could have been in the loo for all we know. I don't know what the loo is out there, Dogman Ranch. But anyway, I'm sure it's a lovely, lovely setup. All right, so we're going to get back to Sasquatch Chronicles and get to this strange noise. Any ideas? From May 23rd, a listener writes, "This is a video my mother took inside her home of sounds coming from her fireplace. I'm just trying to figure out if you've ever heard anything like that before. She lives in a subdivision just outside Waco, and I've never heard any animals that I have heard make a sound or growl like that. Could you check it out when you get a chance? Thanks so much." Let's have a listen. This is from Sasquatch Chronicles YouTube page. So let's have a listen and see what the hell's going on here. Might have to put on earphones. I don't know how loud it's going to be, but it always helps if you have earphones, put them in. I'll give you just a second to do so, and we're going to have a listen to this. Let's see just if we can figure out what the hell's going on. I don't probably hold out much hope that I'm going to know, but maybe one of you guys will. So have a listen, see if we can give them any ideas. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's slowed down to like a horrible degree. Everybody sounds like Satan when they're played at like 1/5 the speed. It could have been a cat purring for all we know. And I'm not trying to make fun of the guy or the person, but I mean, maybe she was really worried. Maybe that growling thing was the mother slowed down saying, "Uh-oh," but it was like, I don't know. Let's have another listen.
Uh-oh.
I mean, obviously the footage is moving much, much slower. So it literally could just be a person talking normal, but with the amount that is slowed down, everybody's going to sound like they're calling from the bowels of hell.
What's that?
So my take on it is it's just very, very slowed down audio. Everything sounds horrible when you slow it way down like that. And we know it's slowed down because the footage, it's like a normal pan, and then it blocks down to about 1/5 the speed in this real slow motion. But the audio continues. That might be normal. So what we're hearing is slowed down video. I mean, yeah, I've got an idea. What do you guys think? Raccoons have a real growl. Yeah, I lived with a raccoon for about a year, and those little bastards they're adorable, but man, this one went feral somewhere in the middle of me living there. Maybe I was part of it. I don't know. That animal had a weird reaction to me from day one, but man, yeah, they can growl. They snarl like that. And then they get really low on the ground and their butt, puffy and up. I mean, they get ferocious, and then they start hopping and doing some weird curly stuff from the Three Stooges and start jumping at you. They are terrifying little bastards. It's pork chop at 1/8 the speed. Yeah, Bigfoot ain't chimneying down the chimney, Spiraling says. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we're hearing, guys. It's just really slowed down audio because the video is obviously slowed down. I just think the audio is probably more mom talking, and she probably heard something, whatever it was, and it made her concerned, but whatever we're hearing there is not a growl. I think it's just a really, really slowed down voice. And it sounds horrible, first of all. Sounds horrible. It's the same reason everybody sounds like a chipmunk when you speed up what they're saying, you know? It's like all of a sudden we're Alvin and the Chipmunks, you know? Well, when you slow it down, we become James Earl Jones or worse, you know? So when you slow it down enough, we become Satan. So just saying, that's what we're hearing, folks. I have no question, no doubt that that's what that is, but interesting. But it's a great opportunity to examine video evidence or alleged evidence and debunk it. And so that's a great thing. So thanks, Wes, for letting us play that. Thanks for the recommendation. That's pretty crazy. Karaoke on helium on my bucket list. Raccoons are cute. I'll give you that, SoCal. I thought the thing was adorable, but man, I mean, he literally went feral. He went, I came just at the end of his little cute phase and right into the growing into an adult phase. And he used to just pick him up by the scruff of the neck. Oh, you know, his name was Raccoonan the Barbarian, if that gives you an idea. And maybe there's something in a name. You don't name your cute fluffy thing Raccoonan the Barbarian because it's going to go to hell in a hurry. Well, that one did. And it went to hell right on me. So I picked him up out of a closet. He would like to crawl up in the closets, and he was chewing on these collector item poster boards. And I was like, oh, no, you got to get out of there, Coonan. We called him Coonan. But I didn't realize with raccoons, and I learned at this point, that as they get older, their skin gets a lot more stretchy. So whereas I could pick him up as a little fluff ball and hold him, and he'd be like, oh, damn it, okay. That skin now, it grew like 20 pounds, and that skin was now like the waistband on your underwear. Like his skin he grabbed my arm and stretched himself around. I'm still holding the scruff of his neck. He put his back legs around, let me do this. He put his back legs around my arm. His front legs were holding on here, and he was chewing and breaking the skin on my thumb. Like he chewed right behind the thumbnail and tore this wide open. And he was like, nah, nah, nah. And they got these little razor teeth. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, nah. And he's grabbing onto me like a tree branch. Now, a raccoon, when they got you. They're holding on. And I was in the death grip. And he was sitting there treating my thumb like a Twinkie. And I was not having any fun. So the only thing I could do is like, yeah. And so I had him connected to my hand, and I started banging him on the wall. And he still didn't let go. And I'm like, ah. And he's chewing up my thumb. And I did the only thing I could. I just whipped him down to the ground, and his claws laid open my entire forearm. And he hit the ground, and then he looked at me. He did this low snarling thing, like, like that. So I ran. It was terrifying. I hated that little bastard after that. And I love animals. I really do. I was 18 at the time, so I mean, I was a young guy, but there's no fun in having a raccoon grab on your arm, lock you into the death grip, and sit there and chew on your thumb like a Twinkie. And it sucked. It sucked all kinds. So, true story. That really happened. So, yeah, that's my love of raccoons. I still think they're adorable, but at somebody else's house. They're adorable. not where I'm living. Nope. So, yeah, raccoons are adorable, Maggie. Yeah, you don't have them in Australia, but they're cute. They're smarter than hell. They got opposable thumbs. I saw this guy. He was very, very intelligent. Like he would always want to get up on the counters, and they had a row of drawers that went from the floor to the countertop. And that thing figured out how to pull those drawers out like steps and get right up there. And then somebody left a hot cup of coffee on the counter. And another thing about raccoons, if there's a liquid, they got to stick their hands in it. And it was tragic. I feel bad for the little guy because he was littler at this point. But he found the coffee and he's like, oh, liquid. He stuck his hand in it, and suddenly he's pulling it out going, just like that. Just like that. He stuck his full mitt into a hot cup of coffee. So he was not having any fun. But yeah, they're wild animals for a reason, I guess, is the big takeaway for me. So you never really tame them. They just tolerate you up to a point. I found out where that point was, and I had no fun with it. That was not fun. So anyway, that was my experience with raccoons. Raccoonan the Barbarian, little bastard. All right, so anyway, what are we at for time here? 8:46. I don't think we got time for the big long story from Sasquatch Chronicles, so I think we'll go over to Phantoms and Monsters. Talk about a skinwalker, folks. Phantoms and Monsters is Lon Strickler's site. It's an amazing site full of incredible encounter stories. If you're into hearing stories about different kind of phenomena, whether it's ghosts, UFOs, Mothman, Dogman, Bigfoot, crawlers, and everything in between, you're going to find it on phantomsandmonsters.com, so please go check it out. Oh, Maggie, thank you. Maggie throwing $3 Australian at us. Good on you, Mike. Thank you. So we're going to head over to phantomsandmonsters.com. Now, again, there's lots more you can learn from Phantoms and Monsters. Obviously, it's Lon Strickler's page. He's been at it for decades. It's really a pillar site for all the paranormal cryptid spheres of strangeness. And Lon's been at this for a long time. They have research teams across the nation here in America. And even he's looking at around the world, getting in touch with some people in other countries if they want to work with them and help look into some of the strangeness. But yeah, it's great stuff. Lon's a published author. You can find all of his published works listed on phantomsandmonsters.com, and check out his podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. And that's also his YouTube channel. And he's on Facebook as Lon Strickler, but he streams live to his YouTube channel and Facebook on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Does live streams 6 p.m. Pacific, which would be, what would that be? 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Yeah, so it's a great time. Great time. And if you go over there, let him know I sent you. All right, so we're going to talk about this Skinwalker report that he's got. Skinwalker on the Hogan roof. Wake up. From May 24th, 2025. So brand new, really, because that's today old. It's a brand new report. We don't get a lot of Skinwalker stories, so I'm always excited when I see them pop up. It says, unnerved but a bit irritated, she asked in Navajo whoever it was to state their business, and the voice turned out to be a man's voice. Wake up, he yelled in Navajo. I received the following account. This is a rather creepy story that my grandmother shared that night. Might be interesting to you. She told it in Navajo. Oh, thank you, SoCal. It's for the Black Eyed Kids Defense Fund. Thank you. She told it in Navajo, and although she knows English, I think it might be easier for her to explain it. It was about her older sister, my other grandma, when she was alive and still living near the mountain. We're on the New Mexico side of the Navajo reservation. My older grandma was living alone in her one-room house, a traditional Navajo hogan. Oh, okay, I didn't know a hogan was a type of house. Okay. She still owned a lot of sheep and goats and was in good health. She never became senile, and she was energetic and alert until her death from cancer a few years ago. Her hogan was traditional, so it had a dirt floor and a stove in the middle of the room with the pipe reaching through the large circular opening in the ceiling. There was no indoor plumbing. She didn't have any electricity or even outdoor lighting. The area is surrounded by thick sagebrush, juniper, and pine trees, as well as beautiful red cliffs that yield red dirt. One night she went to bed after a long day of herding sheep. She woke to the sound of somebody walking and moving around on the roof in the middle of the night. Well, unnerved but a bit irritated, she asked in Navajo whoever it was to state their business. The voice turned out to be a man's voice. Wake up, he yelled in Navajo. My grandmother then told him to get off of her roof and to leave her alone. Surprisingly, he listened to her and jumped off the roof, running in a southern direction as he did so. When she woke the next morning, my grandmother went outside to search for the mysterious footprints in the reddish dirt, but there were none at all. She supposed it was a skinwalker that had visited her during the night. Trust me, it's not the only encounter she had with these types. Other people experienced them as well, and I'm sure you'll hear those stories elsewhere. Unfortunately not. You know, even still, the First Nations are very tight-lipped about the skinwalker stories. Some of them come out, much like this one, but unfortunately, Not a lot of it does. And a lot of that, I think, is anchored in the belief that the Navajo have, and perhaps other First Nations too. I don't know for sure that all tribes share this idea, but it's believed that if you talk about it, they become aware of you. And that maybe cause problems for you or your community down the line. And so most people aren't willing to take that chance. They're not willing to roll that dice, and you can't blame them. So absolutely very cool when we do get these stories, because I think this is a fascinating phenomena, and I really would love to know so much more about it. And it's taken me years to find the few pieces of information that I have. I'm sure there's several people out there, I'm sure, that have a really good understanding of this. But unfortunately, I think most of them are in the First Nations and aren't willing to discuss it. So, I can't fault them for that, unfortunately, but it is fascinating. It's also concerning. I don't pretend to know what these skinwalkers want, but whatever they want, they seem to be really adamant to get it. So, we're going to go to another one here on Phantoms and Monsters, because, again, I don't have time for the other one from Sasquatch Chronicles. It was a very long story. But let's get to this one. It says, possible Bigfoot encounter near Tremont, Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. Okay. Here it is. It says, roughly maybe 40 feet down, that leads into a tall grass field where I would sit. I sat up on my seat and got settled for about 2 minutes. And that's when rocks started coming down the ridge. I received the following account. Hi, I've only shared this experience with a few people in the years since it happened. It was the first Tuesday of the Pennsylvania deer rifle season, December 3rd, 2013. I've always been an avid hunter and would wake up very early in the morning to get into the woods before the daylight. I'd be in the woods at 4:30 in the morning. Having to hunt on state game lands meant beating other people into the woods to get a decent spot. When I got to the parking area at around 4:15 a.m., nobody else was there. So I walked into the woods, not using a flashlight, but only walking by moonlight. I walked through a field into the tree line and started on the path to my spot. I came to the intersection in the path. One way went left and down the mountain, and the other way went right. And I went right because my spot was on the other side. Roughly 50 yards after making the right-hand turn, I smelled what I could only describe as hot garbage. It hit me in the face, hot dumpster juice in the middle of August. So I stopped dead and turned on my flashlight, expecting to see piles of garbage. Nothing. No garbage, nothing dead. Just a hot garbage smell. And keep this in mind, this is December. It's cold out. High 20s to low 30s. So even if there was garbage, it didn't smell that bad. So I kind of thought nothing of it. I followed the path to my spot, which was down the ridge from the garbage smell, roughly maybe 40 feet down. That leads into a grass field where I would sit, and I set up my seat and got settled in for about 2 minutes. And that's when the rocks started coming down the ridge. The first rock startled me, causing me to turn on my light again, scanning the field, hoping to see the eye reflection of a deer, but nothing was there. Well, I sat back down, another rock comes down the ridge, and this time I stand up and go into the grass field with a flashlight and the pistol. My rifle was a .444 Marlin that I carry while hunting, and I scanned again, but nothing. Purposely waited in the field for about 5 minutes. Now I'm getting angry, assuming another hunter is messing with me because I'm in their spot. I sit down again. Third rock, sounding larger than the others, comes tumbling down the ridge. I don't get up this time. Not 2 minutes after that, another rock, not tumbled, but sounded as though it was thrown off the ridge and landed in the field. Now screw it, I'm pissed. I gather up my gear and started to back up the trail to the ridge. I get to the top of the ridge, scanning with my light the whole time. Nothing. No eyes and no other hunter. I get to the spot where I smell the hot garbage. Nothing. The smell is gone. And finally it clicked in my head. It may not have been another person. Possibly something else. And I've heard other stories of people's Bigfoot experiences, a lot of which remark about how bad they smell. I all but ran out of the woods, and to top it all off, no other vehicles were in the parking lot when I got out of the woods. This took place in Pennsylvania State Game Lands 229 outside of Tremont, Schuylkill County. I later came to find out that a coworker of mine had actually seen a bipedal cross in front of his car within 2 miles of my location of my experience. So maybe they're real. I don't know. But I definitely had an experience that I won't forget. And Lon says the location was posted, and there's the numbers. I'm trying to think of coordinates. That's the word I was looking for. And here's the Facebook page for the Pennsylvania State Game Lands 229. Very cool. If anybody wants to look into that a little more, I'll put the link to the Phantoms and Monsters story in the chats, and you guys can check it out. If you want to look at like Google Earth and check out what that looks like, where it was, it's posted in every chat room that I have available to me right now. So it's there if you want to check it out. But I don't know, cool story. I'm glad he's okay. Again, they are masters of intimidation. These Bigfoot are just masters of intimidation. They are so good at getting people the hell out of there. I realized I never did this again. You guys never got to see it. So there it is. There's the story. Just so you know, from phantomsandmonsters.com. So pretty cool story, though. Yeah, excellent. Good ending. Nobody got hurt, but close call. Hunters don't shoot Bigfoot because he looks human, so would be a murderer. Yeah, I think hunters are always bearing in mind that there might be other people out there. So when they see something people like, it's automatically a trigger. Like, nope, don't shoot. That's a person. Nobody wants to kill another person when they're trying to hunt a deer. And even though they're not actually a person as we know it, they look people-like, just big. Just really big and smell like hot garbage, apparently. So that's what they got going for them. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a journey into the Paranormal Portal. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. It was really cool to meet some of the new people listening. That's always good. Good to see you, Android. It's great to have you stop in, brother. We miss you around here, but hopefully you'll be coming back more sometime. Maybe you're getting sick of all that other fluff out there, and you're coming back to where the real home is, where your real home is. So anyway, thank you, Maggie. It's great to see you. Happy Dog Lady, Linda. Great to see all you guys. Thank you again, Chucky, for the question of the week. Stay tuned for the next question, which will be posting anytime tomorrow or the next day for the next weekend show. So check it out, everybody. And I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. I don't want to trivialize it with, oh, have a great time camping or fishing or barbecuing and stuff. Of course, I hope you do. But please keep in mind that it's a sacred day because we're honoring the people that didn't make it home. So make sure to raise a glass to all of them, send a prayer, and remember it's an important holiday in that we're remembering those that gave everything for all of us. So please keep it sacred. But if you don't have any plans, just enjoy yourself and enjoy your time for all of those that didn't get to. So, all right, that's all I got for you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful evening and a good rest of your weekend, whatever you're doing. Just remember that I'll be live again on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday every week. Otherwise, watch social media for any postings, for any changes in that schedule, or if I got to be gone, I'll post it there. Just so you know, or on Discord. I post on Discord as well when I can't do a show, just so you know. But otherwise, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, right everywhere you're watching it now. Come back then. and I'll be back here to welcome you home into another show. So great to have someone from Twitch hanging around tonight. That was cool. That was wonderful. Laura, if you're still out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Pikachu was on Instagram. Yep, that's Pikachu. He walked me home from bringing the minion to the bus. Yeah, he escorted me home. He's a little talker. Meow, meow, meow. He's so jumpy too, because he was a feral cat. So he's always jumpy. Like any noise, he's like, just he's wired naturally. Good thing he doesn't drink coffee, because he would be climbing the walls. So yeah, that was him. He was escorting me home. Yep. Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He's a little cross-eyed though, and he's a big dork. I just can't help but love him though. He's such a sweetheart. But he's also a dick to Anubis. He's a dick to his brother. It's funny. He just antagonizes the hell out of Anubis. So what do you do? But anyway, that's all I got for you. So remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. Thank you, Car Juice. And remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back in the coming week. Watch for the new podcast being released on Monday on all the podcast platforms out there. Hopefully you enjoy that as well. So that'll be released Monday on the holiday. So until then, you guys be careful, be good, and just know I love you and I miss you. I'll see you on Wednesday for sure. Okay, until next time, I bid you adieu. All right, good night, everybody.